Hi, it's Jim Ziegler, the Alpha Dawg with Alpha Dawg TV. My guests today are ACV Auctions. Now, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and do a little housekeeping here, be sure this broadcast goes public. So hang on one second, everybody, while I put this thing, there it is. Okay, we are public, and my guests today, you can sort of see them. Let me get them in. There we go. We got Joe Neiman and Michael Waterman. Is that correct? Fantastic, from ACV Auctions. Now, a good friend of mine, Stu Zalad, contacted me a couple of weeks ago and said, man, you got to see what we're doing here. And I did, and I'm impressed. One of you take it. What is ACV Auctions?
Mind if I run with it? Okay, great. Yeah, so I think what's important to know.
Joe speaking, by the way.
We are a two-sided wholesale marketplace where everybody wins. So what we do is we take new car trades, all the cars are ships. We send our condition report writers that are trained by us. They do our condition report, and they list these cars. And as soon as they list them, they go live for a 20-minute auction. It's all online. It's all virtual. And you can access that auction through our app on iOS and Android, so Apple and Android devices, as well as we have a website. And we run these 20-minute auctions, and it's live interactive bidding. So it's not a classified site. It's real bidding. That's kind of the nuts and bolts of it. But we're selling everything from now $100 cars on up to $250,000 cars.
Well, let me ask you now, that's got to be pretty expensive. You're sending an inspector to the dealership to look at the car?
That's correct.
And they're doing a full condition report on it?
They are doing the industry's best condition report on it. We're taking 40 to 50 photos of a car. We check the oil and coolant on a car. We plug in a scan tool, an OBD2 scan tool. We tell you any codes that are current, pending, readiness monitor status, paint meter readings. We invest about 20 minutes per car, take on average 8 undercarriage photos. We started this company in the Northeast. We know about rust. We know how important it is to disclose that.
You know about rust. Yeah. You're from Buffalo, right?
We watch cars.
Buffalo rust. Yeah. You know about rust.
It's a real thing. But you know what? There's some great cars up this way too. But we're also no longer in Buffalo. You know, that's not just where we are. We're selling cars from Maine down to Florida, out to Texas, and as far west as Chicago now. So we've got great cars from all over the eastern half of the country, and by the end of the year, we'll be as far out as California. But there is no cost to use ACV. You mentioned that it must be expensive. It's expensive for us.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Wait. What's this no cost? Come on out there.
Mike, you want to tell them about that?
Yeah. So the beauty of it, Jim, is that, there's no setup fee. There's no subscription fee. We are basically a transaction. The only time a dealer on the buy side or the sell side is going to pay a dime is if they were able to consummate a deal.
Okay, the only time you charge them is if they make a deal. You're not charging them to send an inspector out to write the detailed inspection report on the car. Every dealer in the country should be on this.
That's why they're all signing up. You're right. They should all be. There's no tricks. There's nothing. It's just unbelievable access to a giant marketplace. More buyers looking at your inventory if you're looking at it to sell, and more opportunity to source inventory from dealers you'd buy from. Unless you had a private jet and could be everywhere, everywhere at once.
Now somebody just said the video's not working. Broderick, is the video working?
Looking at it to sell, and more opportunity to source inventory from dealers you'd buy from. Unless you had a private jet and could be everywhere, everywhere at once.
No. Somebody just said the video's not working. Broderick, is the video working? Okay. Broderick says it's working. Broderick Alley, one of your team members, is on the broadcast with us.
All right. Hi, Broderick.
I love Broderick. I've known Broderick now for about 5 years. I told him he looked like Nedry on Jurassic Park. And I'm saying that with a lot of love. I think you realize that. So anyway, there's no charge to the dealers. That fascinates me. Why every dealer in the country wouldn't be on the program?
Well, we're growing. We're now in 50 markets. So we need to invest in each market we go into. We hire a territory manager. We hire condition report writers to support them. So we look at the country as having 150 to 180 markets. We're in 50 of them right now, and we're growing like crazy. So,
wow. Hey, we got a guy, David Hayes, that says, "Boy, this is working for me." Let's see, Rusty Fortno's on, Chad Palleck's on, Thomas Leahy's on. Yeah, I think the video might be freezing from time to time, but that's not hurting the broadcast in any way. So how many cities are you in right now? I mean, you say you're getting out to the West Coast.
Yeah, we're in 52, and we, all the way from Maine down to Florida, and then out into Texas, and all the way up through into the more of the Kansas area and Wichita, and then frankly, we'll be the goal is to be out through California by the end of the year, and we don't see any reason why we won't get there. We've been, if anything, a little bit ahead of schedule up until this point, Jim. And I think a lot of it is because of the reaction and the response we're getting from the dealer base themselves. A lot of the associations have been extremely, open to helping spread the word because they see the benefits and the efficiencies, for their dealers. And, the bottom line is when you look at what we do and the level of service that we're providing and the amount of money that we're collecting to be in the deal, right? To be the platform to provide, to be the go-between between the buyer and the seller. And you think about the industry averages, when you look at the brick and mortars over the years, they're, upwards of $700 per vehicle that they make in revenue as they run a car through the lane and all the different fees and things that are there. And we're running well below half of that. And when you can think about it as an industry, to connect buyers to the cars that they need and sellers to those buyers that need them and leave $400 or $500 per car in the deal, everybody's going to win. That kind of efficiency is a game changer for the industry itself.
I got to ask you now, you say you're less, the economy, if they actually sell the car, what would be the average price they would pay?
Flat $150.
No, the real price.
That is the real price, yeah.
And that includes sending the inspector out to look at the vehicle. Putting the vehicle up for auction, moving the vehicle.
Mm-hmm. So the vehicle doesn't get moved. The beauty is we go to that seller's lot. They don't have to move the cars. They minimize any risk and exposure of shipping that car off on a car hauler. God knows what happens. Headrests go missing, keys go missing, shift knob damage, whatever. None of that happens with our platform, with our company. Come to you, we list your cars. We sell them right there it's a flat 150, or we've got a program that's called Go Green, and for $225 total, so it's an additional $75. ACV, based on our condition report, will green light the car and we'll take over any and all arbitration issues and shelter the selling dealer from ever getting a phone call that says, "Hey, this car has a bad transmission," anything like that. We just take care of it and keep the buyer happy, and it's all in the law of big numbers. We can make the averages work.
What does a service like that cost?
What's that?
If they would upgrade to that service, what would it cost?
It's $75 additional on the cars they run with us. So it ends up being a $225 selfie, but we end up green lighting all their cars.
Wait, no. There's got to be where's all the hidden crap in this deal? There's got to be some sleight of hand. You got something up your sleeve. The most they can pay for a fully green lighted vehicle is like $225.
We have the most boring fee sheet, I think, in the history of the auctions. It's a half a page where most could be 8 or 10, and that's part of, I think, the attraction to what we're doing is it's that level of service that we're providing. And keep in mind, Jim, it's just not from the condition writer that we send out, the condition report writer that we send right to the dealer. We also have a full inside team that works on behalf of the buyers and the sellers to put deals together. So having that team watch these auctions and as they get close to the floor prices and be able to push both sides to get them to come to an agreement. We're starting to see, cars are selling from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, and Saturdays until 5 or 6. And we're even selling cars on Sundays and holidays now because the buyers and the sellers can have that kind of communication in the app to find each other and put deals together.
I want to ask you a real serious question, guys. How do they get signed up? Before I ask you that, I want to point something out to the audience. I am not being paid to do this broadcast. I mean, I want you to know I volunteered to do this. Well, I found out about ACV Auctions. I saw what they're doing, and I didn't see anything on the market that even resembled what they're doing. I approached them and said, can I do this? Now, we're doing some other things in the future, but right now, I am not being paid to do this broadcast. It's completely voluntary, and it's because I really believe in what we're doing here. I mean, I looked at it and said, wow, I wish I had this when I was in retail. It's just that good. So how can they reach you guys? First of all, is there a phone number that they could pick up and call?
Even better. We have a website. It's www.acvauctions.
Okay, hang on.
www.acv
Auction. Hang on, I'm a two-finger typist. ACVauctions.com.
Yep.
.com. That's simple.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna put that like right on the screen in front of me there. How's that look?
Perfect. There's a phone number there. You can start a registration. We have about 40 people standing by in our inside sales team and business development team to go and get you onboarded. But it's really as simple as this. All we need is a copy of your dealer license and a tax ID form just to prove that you're a dealer and you're in.
Okay, independence and franchised.
Correct.
This is a no-brainer, folks. Now, I'm telling you right now, it's a no-brainer. If you don't do it, you have no brain. Okay, well, the logistics of this have got to be through the roof. Are you guys making any money?
We are, and there's been press releases, so there's some information we could share. As everybody knows, we're well funded to get across the country. We recently had a round of $35 million from our investors, but we've also, we sold over $35 million worth of inventory last month alone. Did well over 5,000 units.
Whoa! Back up. You sold how much?
Over 5,000 units. We sold $35 million worth of inventory last month, and we're going to blow through those numbers this month. The growth has been 400% year over year for the first couple of years, and we're starting to see, the ability to double our volume every 3 to 4 months, and we're looking to be in that 10 to 15,000 cars a month here very, very quickly. And
one of my
as Joe was mentioning,
clients, one of my oldest dealer clients, Ryan Navarre, just said, "Are you in Louisiana?"
We are. And if he wants to reach out to us, he can send me an email at mwaterman@ACV Auctions, and I'll introduce him to the territory manager there.
Okay, mwaterman@acvauctions.com.
Yep.
Broderick, put that on the sidebar where you're writing the messages. mwaterman@acvauctions.com. Yeah,
correct.
Ryan is a premier dealer. He's in Lake Charles, Louisiana, has several stores, big Chevy stores, and he is quite the operator. He is really good. And his second generation, his father was a friend. He's a friend, so we're talking, premier dealer.
Excellent.
We'd love to be friends.
Well, I think you're going to be. Steve Boyd wants to know if you're in Mississippi.
We are. Yes. Yep. Just reach out to that same M. Waterman at ACB. I can hint to our rep out there.
Fantastic. M. Waterman at ACV. I'm going to put that on the side there. Hang on one second. Well, I guess I'm not. I've already made that permanent. So it's good. But M. Waterman at acvauctions.com.
And if anyone can't remember that, mine is Joe, Joe, Joe at acvauctions.com. So that one's even easier.
And there's also a contact on that the website that you shared on the tagline there, Jim. They can get to us right through the website too. So no worries.
Fantastic. the reason I'm so excited about you, I know a couple of dealers that are using you, and I haven't found anybody complaining about you. And you know, I write for 3 magazines, and I've got alleged secret groups all over Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, you know, urban myth. But anyway, I really don't have those groups. But anyway, you know, it's crazy because I can't find anybody bitching about you. Usually, no matter what you are, you know, people even blow out of churches pissed off. But you guys have got a great reputation, and that just boggles me.
Well, a couple of things that we do, Jim, and I think everybody, you know, that sees this video and anyone that we talk to, whether it's through, you know, the associations or just, you know, the daily, you know, grind of going out and doing stomp and knocks and talking to as many dealers as we can, is the fact that, you know, we're trying to actually create and maintain a marketplace here that's going to be useful. So if we that comes on and, you know, they just throw their cars up and they try and hotel like some of the sites have done in the past, which really frustrates buyers. You know, we know those cars aren't for sale, and we're going to ask very politely that we either make some pricing adjustments or maybe we're just not for you. And we do the same type of thing, you know, on the buy side. It's all about, you know, the reason why we exist is because nobody's ever trusted each other in this business, and you know, dealers don't trust each other. And you know, all we're trying to do is just raise the level of transparency. So between our condition report, and that's why we think it's so important that we train our people, we provide that third party that is not, you know, beholden to the car. It's not beholden to one side of the deal. It's just there to facilitate the most efficient deal possible. And the more times we do that, you know, the bigger this thing gets. And I'm sure there's a couple out there that don't like us, but you know, they're definitely in the minority, because you know you can't please everybody in this business. But man, we try awful hard.
Do I know that? Yeah, absolutely. Joe, tell me more about, you've got this vast network. I mean, to me, it's unbelievable. You've got so much logistics. How many people are working for you?
Yeah, so we're just cracked 300. So about half of that, probably a little over that, is the sales team, which is primarily out in the field. We do have a big inside team that signs up new dealers, account managers, deal desk. But we also have a huge titles and payments department, because just like any good auction, we handle the titles and the payments. We have an arbitration department for when things go a little sideways, because these are all used cars and they do. We also are building out a transportation team. So last month, ACV Transport facilitated the transportation of 45%. So about 2,300 cars we moved for our dealers. So we're really we're working toward being the complete end-to-end solution. You buy the car on ACV, the payment flows through us, the title flows through us, and it's delivered to your door in a reasonable time frame. And we're exceeding our own expectations with how well we're working toward that goal.
Well, this to me is like I say, a must do. What states are you going into in the very near future? What is your next conquest?
So we'll be opening up the Southwest in California, and then the Northwest. All of those will happen over the next couple of quarters. So as I said, you know, by the end of the year, we will be coast to coast, you know, and be able to connect the dots from Maine to California, you know, and everything in between.
Okay, now here's a question I have. How did the buyers get on?
Same exact way. So they can go right to our website and sign up. There's a lot of word of mouth. You know, guys at auctions talk a lot. So there's a lot of chatter about us, the ones that are still going to auctions anyways.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of dealers, God's honest truth, that have really just stopped going to their local and regional auctions, and they're just buying their cars on TV. But very much the same way, we have about 20% of our cars right now are getting bought by franchise dealers. They're buying other people's 60-day aged units that are all shopped. There's a ton of good inventory in that respect. And then a lot of independent dealers. I don't think anyone would mind, but JD Buyrider has ranked our cars that they buy from us, or their cars that they buy from us, at a 96% accuracy rate for the condition report to expected reconditioning. They have a super sophisticated process, which is great to see, because other dealers can benefit from that. But our whole goal our whole, when we wake up in the morning and what we go to bed thinking about is building trust and transparency in this marketplace. And I grew up at car auctions. That's where I cut my teeth. So I bought thousands of cars as an independent dealer at auctions. And there's unfortunately just a large amount of deception and shadiness still at physical auctions.
Oh, no crap.
Our differentiator, our fresh approach is to we call a car a car. We call it, we're not trying to hurt the value of the car. And in fact, really what we've seen is by being full disclosure, we elevate the whole game. The buyers aren't bidding with scared money. They don't hold back. They bid to what they believe the car is worth. In the 10% of the time where a car is really a slug, and we say it really is that, it's great. The car might do a little less than it did if you bamboozled someone at the auction, but that buyer's not going to be back in your lane next week anyways. So we might as well just take the short money on a crappy car and move on, and let all the others, do the right money and beyond, and everybody's happier in that situation.
Well, there's a big market for crappy cars right now. We ship them to Florida. Yeah. How do you verify the buyers? I mean, how do you validate the buyers? I mean, money's got to go back and forth here. How do you do that?
I guess the main thing to think about is we do that internally, but it never affects a selling dealer. Meaning if a car transacts, if it sells on ACV and a buyer writes us a bad check, you're paid by ACV. You get us the title, you're paid. If ACV has to go and chase paper, that's part of the business. I don't even know what the percentage is. It's a tiny percent, but it happens. But never would we let that affect the seller's side of the equation.
So in other words, the money's guaranteed. If they bid on it, they buy it. You pay for it, and if it's bad money, you eat it. Is that pretty accurate?
Yep.
Wow. This is phenomenal to me, guys. What else should we tell people? Let's see who's on the sidebar here. That's a lot of people on this broadcast. A lot of people asking about it. So, what would you like to tell people about ACV auctions that we haven't talked about?
I think an important thing to know is when we started out, which was less than 3 years ago, we were known as being the junk auction and cheap cars and $1,500 cars. And I can say with total confidence now that we have really elevated our game. Yesterday we sold a couple $200,000 cars. Seeing cars sell for 60 and 80 grand is a daily occurrence. So we are really a full spectrum solution. You don't need to go and ship these cars to a highline sale once a month, 4 states away. You can call ACV. We'll come to your lot. We'll do the condition report for free, and we'll list it and we'll sell your car in 20 minutes. So it's really a radical shift. We also do tremendously well, for whatever reason, with in-ops. If you have cars, we're a total solution, and I could point to a lot of examples, but whether it's trucks or cars or cars that got into an accident or the motor's disassembled and in the trunk, we can sell all of it. I'm continually amazed by our ability. Our buyers are great. They're fully engaged. I think, another thing, Jim, is that we've got a real paradigm shift now where the average buyer is about 400 miles away from the seller. So when you think about just scale and audience and reach, at a physical auction, yeah, you might get some simulcast bidders. Otherwise, if it's people in lane, they're typically coming from, at most 75 or 100 miles away. We have cars going all over the country. If I showed you the spider web of cars that we transport, it just blankets the country. These things are going everywhere and anywhere in between. Now,
Joe, I don't know if Mike and you don't get along, but he's drifting out of the picture here.
Come on over, buddy.
Oh, there you go. I don't know if it was your breath or what was happening there. But
No.
I was on your Facebook page earlier, Joe. Your family's quite proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you.
You guys are in a hotel room, and where are you today?
We're in Virginia. We're making
good.
through some of the Mid-Atlantic states down in Richmond today, and a bunch of meetings and new launches and kickoffs going on down around here. So plenty to do. And then tomorrow we split up and hit a few more.
I have had a heck of a time nailing you guys down. You're jet setting everywhere. You're putting some frequent flyer miles up.
That's for sure.
Oh, golly. Well, I don't know what else to ask you. I think we've covered quite a bit. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think we've covered everything. And, for those viewing this and those that will view it in the future, just, keep in mind that everything that, Joe had mentioned about having the full facilitation of, we can handle your floor plan as a buyer. We can help you with that. You don't have to jump through hoops to buy a car, and get it funded on ACV. We work with over 40 floor plan companies today, and that's growing at a rate of 4 to 6 a month of new ones that are coming on. From a seller's perspective, having all of those guarantees and that comfort to know if you provide the title and you sold the car, you're going to get a check. And
so you don't have to hire a bunch of old retired guys to drive your cars back and forth?
No.
Don't have to bring a transport truck over and haul them over, bring them back?
Those days are gone. The car leaves when it's sold and you've already been paid. That's when it means a lot.
I have a question. 20 minutes. Tell me about the 20 minutes part of this thing. I'm not quite clear on that.
I'll let Joe answer that, because I tell you, when I first came on board, Jim, that was my first hesitation, thinking 20 minutes can't be enough. But let me tell you, it is. But I'll let him take that one.
Sure.
Okay, Joe, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'll see if I can answer it in less than 20 minutes. A lot of this comes from personal experience, and I used to get calls from used car managers and wholesalers that would run cars past me, and I was a professional car buyer, and I can make a decision in about 2 minutes as to whether I want to pull the trigger and buy a car or not. 20 minutes was because we're sending these auctions out randomly throughout the day as soon as the condition reports get done. So we just figured we'll bump that time out to about 20 minutes. So if people are busy, if buyers are busy and they need to, finish a deal or they need to stop what they're doing, they're still going to have ample time. Our condition reports are built to be simple, to breeze through, get the information that you need to know, and make a quick decision as to whether you want to bid or not. But we also believe that from a selling perspective, pretty important. And a lot of these other online websites where you put a car on for 5 days or a week, where's the call to action? Where's the sense of urgency? So with our platform, it's just built right in, and the 20 minutes kind of forces that, make a decision or miss an opportunity. And it proves to be working really well.
So you're featuring that single vehicle for 20 minutes and it's off.
Correct. Yeah.
That is just a super efficient, and it's obviously working. Well, how's my good friend Dennis Carey doing? I better ask that.
He's doing very well. Yeah, Dennis is in charge of our central region and opened up many markets in the last 6 months, and just doing a great job. A lot of dealer groups that you're familiar with working with Dennis and really enjoying the results that they're seeing from ACV. So
Dennis is a good speaker. Dennis has been a featured speaker at several of my internet battle plan conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was with a different company at the time, but yeah, Dennis is a really knowledgeable used car guy. He's on top of it.
Yeah, we took him out of the business suit, threw him in some jeans and a nice the polo shirt, and forced him to go out and get dirty again. So he's enjoying it.
Oh no! You took him out of a suit. First time I met Dennis, he's a bit of a hillbilly. He was wearing one shoe. I said, Dennis, you lost a shoe. He said, no,
he's a Hoosier. He's a Hoosier.
He's definitely a Hoosier. Well, listen, guys, I have had a lot of fun. I hope you have.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you.
And like I said, this broadcast will be up. It'll be posted everywhere. And ACV Auctions. Now, that I'm going to put it on my screen 1 second. ACVauctions.com. Mm-hmm. And if you want to communicate, T. Waterman at ACVauctions.com or Joe at ACVauctions.com. Now, Broderick's working a crowd over here in the sidelines. I don't know if you're seeing that. Broderick said, "Don't call them, call me." Yeah, Broderick on commission. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Jim. We really appreciate your time.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you, and I appreciate ACV Auctions. Alpha Dawg signing off. Bye-bye, guys.